We are now talking to Central Michigan tight end recruit Hunter Marcom. What's going on, Hunter?
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. I'm reading. I'm reading how tall you are. You're 6'7", 232 pounds. Holy moly, man! You are a big man.
Yeah.
How
Yep.
how, how tall is your father?
He's about 6'4", 6'5".
And so you are. And do you have any brothers or sisters?
I have a sister.
Is she tall too?
Yeah, she's pretty tall.
How tall is she?
About 5'8".
Well, that's tall for a woman. Okay, so
Mm.
she's a borderline model size. So there you go, man. Maybe you can help her out and tell her to go. Maybe use the modeling career to go to school and get paid for school. So there you go. Anyways, we are talking to Central Michigan tight end recruit Hunter Marcom. Now, Hunter, what is it like? Being recruited, I see you were recruited by two schools, Central Michigan and What was
Valparaiso.
that? Valparaiso. I'm sorry. I'm not very good at
That's a
pronouncing.
tricky name.
It is a tricky name.
That's a tricky
I'm not very good with names too, by the way. So bear with me here. What is it like being recruited by different teams? And I know because of COVID-19, you really can't go to the schools. You have to do these Zoom calls. You meet the coaches. You meet all the different representatives and the dean of admissions, whatever you guys do. What is it like doing and being recruited on a computer than going to the school and visiting the school? What is it like?
Well, it's a lot different than I ever expected it would be. I always imagined going to different campuses and meeting the coaches in person and touring the facilities. But that's all happened over Zoom and over like videos and phone calls. And it's gone pretty well, better than I could have expected if a year ago somebody told me I would be choosing my college over a couple of videos and a Zoom call.
So Central Michigan is actually interesting because it's one of the smaller schools that actually has had some good recent NFL talent. Three guys that probably could be Hall of Famers. J.J. Watt was there before he transferred to Wisconsin. Antonio Brown, Joe Staley have been those three names. Did that really sway in your decision with the preparation that you see these guys have, this coaching staff and this program have for the NFL?
It's definitely really cool to see. I saw that they sent a tight end to the Vikings recently, and then they had a tight end transfer to Virginia. So it's really great to see those guys having some success after playing there.
We are talking to Central Michigan tight end recruit Hunter Marcom. Now, Hunter, the tight end position has become a very important position, not only in professional football, but college football. Some of these tight ends can run a 4.7, 4.6. They're big, they're strong, they can jump, they can play, they play basketball. We've seen linemen, offensive linemen, they play travel basketball, they play high school basketball. When you look at the game and how it's transitioned, and from the prima donna wide receivers to the tight end now in the NFL, do you see the tight end really taking over when it comes to college football and the NFL moving forward? When you see some of the talent that we've seen come out, guys like the Kittles of the world, and over the years, all the different tight ends that we've seen.
Yeah, because not only they have to be great blockers as they've been in the past, but now like Kittle and
Kelsey.
The guy in the Chiefs. They both make huge plays and a lot of catches and yards, and I think that transfers to college and even to high school too.
So Errol actually brought up a good point. A lot of these tight ends that are drafted, a lot of them played college basketball and did other sports. They didn't always play football. They didn't always get the recognition. And I think a lot of that has to do with the way that their schemes are, and even high school football with the way their schemes are. Do you think it's a tougher journey for the tight end position, even more than any other position, just because of what we've seen and a lot of them being late picks?
Yeah, I do. I'm a big basketball guy growing up, doing AAU and through high school, and I definitely have gotten a lot of more interest through basketball in the past before I even thought that college football was a possibility.
So what made you decide to go with college football than college basketball?
I really thought about my time playing both sports and just thought about when I was the happiest and which sport really made me the happiest, and it was football at the end of the day.
We are talking to Central Michigan tight end recruit Hunter Marcom. Now, Hunter, when you deal with different schemes. You see the spread offense a lot in college football, and then you see an NFL style of quarterback. And we've talked to a lot of quarterbacks that play both, and the mobile quarterbacks. When you see the game transitioning the way you do, what stands out to you the most when you see the transition from the 80s and the 90s? Obviously, you weren't alive for that because you're such a young kid. From the defensive style of ball where you can hug and grab the corners can hug and grab the wide receiver, to now you can't even put your hand or even put a pinky on the quarterback, or you're going to get called for a 15-yard penalty. Do you see the transition helping the game of football or making the game a little bit worse?
I definitely think it's gotten a little ticky-tacky recently with not being able to hit the quarterback or just a lot of stuff like that to protect the players. But I think it's going in the right direction. I think that could change too.
So I've asked this to all the tight ends. We've had a lot of tight end recruits on. Can you see a point in any level of football that the tight end position surpasses the wide receiver position in terms of overall importance and value, and why?
I do, because like I said earlier, they have to be great blockers, as well as now they have to stretch the field and make huge plays and touchdowns. And I think that's something that wasn't always happening in the past, and now it's starting to be a big part of the game and a big part of different teams' offenses.
Hunter, when you look at all the different players in the NFL and some of the players in NCAA that are playing right now, is there a particular player that stands out to you where you can compare and contrast your skills to?
I really like to compare myself more to Kittle, just to be able to use my size to get open and make catches.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of Kittle, he actually got a huge contract this offseason, and Travis Kelce shortly after that got a big extension. In terms of the financial value for the tight ends, being like you were saying that they are rising in importance, a lot of good teams have top tight ends now that win championships, that go to Super Bowls. Could you see a situation where financially they're not far behind wide receivers in terms of average annual value per year?
Yeah, I could see that. As the value for the tight ends increase, I think that they will start to get paid more.
Hunter, I'm a crazy guy. I don't know if you listen or you watch our show. I'm a little nutty. I do a lot of crazy things. And I know you're a kid, and I don't know what you do in the locker room. I don't know what you do with your pals in the locker room. You like to play pranks. What kind of person are you in the locker room? Are you a funny, outgoing person? Are you a quiet, energetic leader? What type of person are you in the locker room? Because I know what I do with this kid. If you guys don't actually watch our show, after the show, I do a little, couple of things on Snapchat. Like I said, viewer discretion is advised. The questions and the craziness that I do off air, it's very, very funny. But I try to do it on air too, so don't get me wrong. You'll see in a little while. But Do you see yourself as an energetic person, a guy, a leader that pushes players to play hard, or are you the comic, the clown, the guy that likes to, put water balloons in people's underwear, or what do you like to do? I mean, seriously.
I'm definitely pretty energetic and outgoing with my teammates. I like to lead by example when we're practicing and during games, but I don't pull too many pranks, but I'm always having fun and joking around with the guys.
I could teach you. If you want to learn how to prank somebody, I am the king at pranking because I also was a very good athlete. And I was the prankster. Whenever we went and we played travel hockey or I played travel basketball, I was the type of guy that was the person, the coach made me sleep in the same room as him because he knew that I was going to cause trouble. So, and I was the leader. So just think about that. A person that's a leader who's a troublemaker. So it's the best of both worlds. So I've got that power. Right, Speedy?
Yes, you do. I could believe that.
Well, you deal with it every single day.
Yeah, I do, unfortunately. So, Hunter, you actually grew up in Wisconsin, actually pretty close to Green Bay. I think slightly west of Green Bay, if I remember correctly. Very cold up there. So obviously you've played a lot in the cold. How much of a difference do you think it makes in terms of the game planning, in terms of the style of game? And also, if they ever told you this, what is the coldest game you've ever played in?
I really don't think it's that big of a deal because in warm-ups maybe you'll be a little cold, but once the game really starts going, you warm up pretty quick and you just don't really think about it. I'd rather play in 40, 50 degree weather in October than when it's 80 in August, honestly. And I think we've had a couple late games that have been in the 40s, which is pretty chilly.
I love it. I love the cold, man. I will go out in my boxer briefs, and I'll go out in my T-shirt when it's snowing, and I'll walk and get the mail. I'll walk in flip-flops. You got to see me, man. I love it. I love the cold. I hate the summer. It's just you can't go out in the summer and rip off all your clothes. I mean, I'm not going to walk butt-ass naked up and down the block. I mean, I'm not going to do that.
Please don't.
Well, Speedy, I don't know if you would like to watch that.
I would not.
As you guys know, we are talking to Central Michigan tight end recruit Hunter Marcom. Now, Hunter, I like speaking about different positions in football, and a lot of people look at the offensive line, the offensive tackle, the quarterback, and the cornerback. But I think a lot of people don't realize how important the tight end is because he blocks. He's a big guy. He's the blanket for the quarterback. What is the strength of your skills? What do you say, what is your strength? Are you a great offensive player? Are you a good blocker? What stands out in your game from all the other tight ends?
I think I do a really good job using my size and my weight just to get open. And I can, if there's like a underthrown ball or a jump ball, I can really just box somebody out and go up and make the play.
All right. If there was any NFL coach, past or present.
Me.
You're not an NFL coach.
I am. Now I am.
Oh, you are?
I was just hired by the New York Jets. Just so you guys know.
Congratulations.
Adam Gase was just fired. I was just hired.
All right, well, I guess they're going to win games now.
Well, they probably will. I mean, I know a little bit more about coaching football than that guy does. That's for sure.
That's not saying much. But going back to the question, if there was one coach that you would want to play for, who would it be and why?
I might get criticized for this one, but growing up a Packer fan, I always dreamed about playing for Mike McCarthy.
Well, don't tell that to Zeke. That's for sure. He's having the worst season of his career. We were just talking about him. Oh my God! I mean, that guy needs to hold on to a ball. But I like Mike McCarthy. I don't think first of all, tight ends don't fit his offense. They never do. And running backs don't fit his offense either. I mean, the last good tight end that came out from his offense was Jermichael. So Jermichael Finley. He was the last good tight end. He had one good season.
Right.
So no tight ends good. They had Jimmy Graham. He didn't really last very long over there. Maybe it's because of Aaron Rodgers, not because of Mike McCarthy. But even
That's
now,
a little of both.
Even if you look at the Cowboys right now, the tight ends that they have you how many times do you see a tight end catch the ball in a game? I mean, you see very few. So it's more wide receivers. And I'm surprised that Ezekiel Elliott actually, well, he doesn't fit his offense. So there you go. Before we get into the crazy conversations, your favorite game you played, or the biggest and most remembrance game you could remember, and why was it the most remembrance game of your career?
My sophomore year, it was my first year starting on varsity, and we were playing just a neighboring town, Shawano, and we won on the last drive of the game in the fourth quarter, and that was just a big game for me because that was my first varsity football game where I was really it was a close game the whole time. I was really into it, and then to come away with a win, it was just like something I'll never forget.
All right, favorite Packer that you growing up that is well known, your favorite Packer overall, and maybe a lesser known Packer.
Come on, man, you know the answer.
Aaron Rodgers. That you like.
Aaron Rodgers, we know.
I said a lesser known one too.
Yeah, obviously Aaron Rodgers. And then I guess he's not playing right now, but I really liked watching Lazard earlier this year and last year, but he's out for the season now.
Mm-hmm. I always liked him. I'm surprised he fell to the 7th round in that draft. I thought he had a 2nd or 3rd round grade.
I love Aaron. Everybody knows what I think about Aaron. When healthy, I think he's the best quarterback in the NFL. And he's having a sensational year, except last week against Tampa. He didn't look very good. So Yeah, sometimes you hit a wall. And Aaron's one of those guys that he'll hit it bad, and then all of a sudden he'll throw 5 touchdowns next week, and he'll be out of the hole. So, unfortunately, the way Russell Wilson is playing, and they're fighting back and forth, having a game like that could have cost him the MVP. So that's the only problem with that. But winning a championship, I think, is more important than winning an MVP to Aaron Rodgers. So I think that's the most important thing, and he needs his second. I'd love to see Aaron Rodgers win 2 or 3.
We usually see Russell Wilson have like 2 dud games a year, though. So
No, I don't think you're going to do it this year.
Maybe
Not with
not.
the beast and the weapons he has. DK Metcalf he's turning into a superstar.